Hi friends, it's Andrew and welcome to another 7-minute meditation. In this case, it's a 7-minute training, if you will, on how to build relationships. So let's go ahead and get this started. This is going to be some fun. And I'm going to give some credit where credit is due here. I try to do that in most of my videos here, but a lot of what we learn in ministry and in life are things that eventually you're thinking, where did I get that from? But I know that this comes from a group called Tent Makers that I was able to do some training with. And well, here we go. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I just want you to join me for a moment in an imaginative exercise, which is, if you will picture with me in your mind's eye, on top of a desk there is a nameplate. On top of the desk there is a nameplate as our first object. And on top of that nameplate is a house. And on top of that house is a group of people standing on the house, and they were reaching up into a work glove. And that work glove is tossing a strange airplane, because that airplane has a tennis racket for a propeller. It's a strange tennis racket because on the handle end it has a light bulb. Have you got it? See if you can repeat those objects with me. On the top of the desk we have a nameplate. On top of the nameplate we have a house. Standing on top of the house is a group of people. These people are reaching up into a work glove, right? And that work glove is tossing an airplane. And that airplane has a strange propeller. It's a tennis racket with a light bulb on the handle end of it. So those are several objects. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, what these do is remind us when we're trying to build relationships about some conversational areas. Some of us are natural conversationalists, that we know how to talk to people, we know how to ask good questions. But let's admit the truth here too. For those of us who are great at talking to people, that's often what we're doing, is we're talking to people versus learning how to ask good questions. We're great at talking. How good are we at listening? As Mama used to always say, you have one mouth and two ears for a purpose. So this helps us to listen to people by having a stack of objects that then connect to something else. So these are just a mnemonic device to help us understand conversational areas. I guarantee you've probably got that stack memorized, right? You've got the nameplate, the house, the group of people, the work glove, the airplane with a propeller that's made of a tennis racket and a light bulb. Now what do these mean? The nameplate, what do you think that means? Name. Hi, how are you? My name is Andrew. What's your name? So you get to know the person's name. Then the next one, the house. Where do you live? And that's kind of one of those strange questions that might be kind of creepy, but it makes sense if you're at some conference somewhere or out of state. So where are you from? You know, those types of questions make it a little less creepy. But where do you live? Do you live in the area? Those types of things, you can modify that. Let's see, then you have on top of that house, the group of people. You know what that means? Who do you live with? Do you have a family? Tell me about your family. And then the group of people are holding on. I'm jumping ahead. They're wearing a work glove, right? So this reminds us to ask folks, and each of those people are wearing a work glove, no matter their age. We can ask them about work, school, or how do you spend your time? Because not everybody's working, not everybody's in school, but everybody spends their time doing something. So work, school, and how do you spend your time? And then the airplane. What do you think that reminds us to ask about? Travel, right? Where have you been? Where would you like to go? These types of things. And then the propeller is made of a tennis racket. So this is, we don't want to be shy, S-H-I. We want to talk about or ask about sports, hobbies, and interests. Sports, hobbies, and interests, because that covers the gamut of what you might call extracurricular activities beyond work, school, and how you spend your time. And then last but not least is the light bulb, and that's where we're moving into more ideological things. So your ideas, that's where you would jump in a little bit here. So you can see how this works. Hi, my name is Andrew. What's your name? Oh, well, nice to meet you. Very good. So do you live around here? And you get the idea. Tell me about your family and these types of questions. And we want to then not just ask these questions, but we want to use the conversational areas. We also want to use conversation expanders. As a matter of fact, I've illustrated this with groups before, is we could say, hello, what's your name? Oh, wow, that's a beautiful name. Do you know where you got that name? Why did your parents name you that? Tell me the story of your name. What's the background of your name? Do you know what nation of origin it's from? You know, you could spend literally a good 5-10 minutes on the first question alone by just asking great questions. And what you'll find is a lot of information about people, but this helps us to intentionally practice asking good questions, because so many of us might think that we're good listeners. I mean, I pride myself on that, but my wife said something once about, you're not a very good listener. I wasn't sure. I wasn't really paying attention. That was a little joke, a very little joke. So this is one of the keys, and why we're calling this How to Build Relationships. It has a lot to do with how we interact with people and how we listen to people and get to know them. So I hope this has been helpful, instead of I hope this has been hopeful, to you in considering how you build relationships, how you're being intentional to use some of these questions to make sure to have intentional conversations with folks, and to really get to know them and see them as God sees them. That's the ultimate goal here, is to see people in the image of God, so that they're fascinating, that they're fun to get to know. So again, I hope this was helpful. That's easy for me to say. If you like this video, please be sure to share it, like it, comment. If you have any other thoughts on this, subscribe to this, and also ring the bell to get notifications of future videos. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.